All right. I was contemplating discussing some political stuff today, but I decided I'll just book a video of that tomorrow. So I wanted to talk about people and their online attachments, where they talk to someone or interact with someone or think they know someone that causes them to do things online, and why a lot of times this can be very bad. As someone who has experienced it myself. So 4 years ago, there was a woman I met on this art website, and me and her used to DM each other upwards of 6 or 7 times a day. DM is a little private, little small private message you send back and forth. And she was eventually blocked, or I guess banned on the site for picking a fight with somebody on there. There was some kind of back. I don't remember all the details at this point, but she got in trouble and was removed from the site. And after that week, because we knew each other on another website, I was under the assumption that we would continue speaking on that we would talk on there because we hadn't, been on bad terms at any point of us speaking. And so while we were on this website, she chose to just start ignoring the messages I would send her, which was completely out of the blue, seemingly because she would respond to the things I would say on this other site. And I tried to reach out a couple more times. I just said to hell with it. But it was really, at the time something that bothered me because I had formed an attachment to speaking to this person, uh, often, and then to know that they didn't want to do it anymore, seemingly not because of something I did, but because of the circumstance of them getting banned on that site, which was completely out of my control. Um, it bothered me for a while until I got over it at some point. It's actually a story I don't think I've ever told in there before, because that's so unlike a lot of the different encounters with chicks where that was something that for the most part was platonic, uh, which is why it was kind of like that wasn't someone I spoke to and then ended it because they turned me down or something. It was a person who seemingly reciprocated at least interacting, and then they just canceled everything out of the blue because they got banned on that site for running their damn mouth. But anyways, I've told the stories of Triple L and the Discord snake before, and those were two individuals I spoke to online for, in her case, roughly around a year, and in his case, on and off for like 2 years. Um, when I made the decision to stop speaking to the Discord snake, it was because I was tired of his antagonism. You have these people who, when you speak to them, they have this tendency to take on the position that is opposing of yours, almost as if it's their job to just be this contrarian. Well, I did the video "Why Romance is a Scam," so you can go check that out. We came to that conclusion a while ago. But anyways, with him, I made that decision to stop speaking to him. And then over a year later, he sent me a friend request. And I've been over this saga before, but I mentioned how at some point, well, I mentioned that previously he didn't know what I looked like. The only thing he knew about me was my first name and my voice. And his creepy self went on YouTube and dug for every video associated with my first name until he heard something with my voice. And I just thought that was extremely creepy. I thought it was something that, under no circumstance, could not be considered weird. Um, and it's a perfect example of these really ridiculous extremes people go to when they feel like they form some online attachment with you. I also mentioned that I had never point at no point at never point. That sounds like the name of some movie. At no point ever referred to this person as a friend, because that's like a word that people online use when they want to stab you in the back. They call you that. Um, so it was all the more jarring when he would you know, after I block them, make another account to just to try and speak to me again. Again, those are just extremes that I think if you if you take out the elements of believing this person is so special and you must talk to them and you must keep trying to convince them to speak to you, you wouldn't feel the need to go to that. It's because of these people getting these attachments over the computer that it ends up making them. And again, I'm not trying to pretend that they're not susceptible to their own behavior, but because they think they have some connection with you or some other person, they do these things that are really extreme. The internet brings out the psycho in people. It's literally made people inhuman, some scary. Pretty much. I don't think I've ever seen you before, Euro dollar trader. Yeah, I know James was really sad this past week over what happened with Trump. I know that he was looking for those for 4 more years to make America great again. No, I know he was really disappointed. But going back to what I was saying, in the case of Triple O, you had a broad who got blocked by me on Twitter and on the phone. So you know when you block somebody's phone number, and I would not try to interact with someone who had done that to me. If the situation were reversed, you wouldn't see me try to still contact that person after they had blocked me on multiple, different platforms. So imagine my shock and chagrin when she sent me a DM, not a DM, an email addressing that she had been blocked. I'm like, just go away. Like I just find it so funny that these people who actively avoid giving you what you want out of speaking to them go to such extremes to try to keep you talking to them, to where they'll accept getting blocked over and over. They'll just keep on trying to contact you, even when you made it abundantly clear, I'm done with you. I'm washing my hands. I knew Trump was going to lose, and it's funny because he's trying to sue the states. Well, remember, according to him, if he loses, it's rigged. There's no way he can legitimately be defeated. James, when I run for office, if I lose, I'm gonna say no, it was all rigged. There's no way they could have just not wanted me as their representative or senator or whatever other office. All the powers worked against me. He was saying as early as spring of this year that the election was going to be rigged. And I told you that it's literally him taking his thing from 2016, where he said the election was going to be rigged against him until he won, and then he stopped saying that, and now using it again. So if he lost last time, that was going to be it was going to be the same mantra. I would have won if they didn't rig it against me. And they still won't provide any proof. Oh, and then James, remember this. So the Republicans kept the Senate, or at least they did much better than people thought they would, and they might have taken the Democrats out of control of the House. If the election was rigged against Republicans, how did all of them except Trump do so well? Explain that. I tell you, he doesn't want. You don't see him talking about those congressional results where the Republicans are going to keep the Senate. It looks like, and they might get the House. No, they can't explain it. But let me get back to this crazy crap with these people. So the reason why what she did was strange is because a lot of times people, when they would comment on my stuff, they would accuse me of having no confidence, because that's like the little go-to excuse for whenever you have a result that they don't know the full extent of. They just accuse you of having certain personality traits. And I would think I would have no confidence if I would talk to a woman who blocked me, not only my phone number, but also on Twitter. And I had to like try to contact her through another means. Like I did have one chick on Twitter block me, and then she unblocked me. I was like, no, I'm not talking to you. You're not gonna talk to somebody that decided to block me. Let's pretend the block is still on. Let's pretend you can't see anything I write from this point forward. Again, there's just certain stuff I'm not gonna put up with. Now, I really want to do a video where it's like all the different personality traits I've been accused of having, because that lack of confidence thing is like the rallying cry of these people that want to make a bunch of assumptions about whoever, I guess, addresses the chick crap. No, this was last year. Yeah, all of these except for the Discord snake thing, which was in May, were last year. Where he has the high honor of being like the shortest tenured person I spoke to after deciding to speak to them again. Like, he acted so ridiculous in 1 week. I was like, yeah, I'm good. You can take your contrarian self somewhere else. The connection is unstable. Let me see. The connection actually got screwed up. Or is my connection working? Because it just told me that it was unstable. I'm gonna assume it is. So there was damn, I just lost my train of thought. I was talking about something, and then the internet was acting up. Yeah, we had a power outage yesterday for 3 hours. So I'm kind of on edge after that. But anyways, there was a user I just remembered who I know that James knows who I'm talking about, who came to who got mad that I wouldn't respond to his comments for a week and then just kept spamming on various videos and streams about the fact that I wasn't saying anything to him. And I thought to myself, it's a hell of a just incredible thing when it can be construed as offensive that you don't read someone's comments. Because when I get offended, it's usually because someone said something mean about me, uh, or they antagonized me in some kind of way. This person was upset because I wouldn't say anything when they wrote something. Even though if you go to most streams by most large YouTubers, unless usually it's a super chat, the comment section is not read. It's literally a bunch of people talking to each other about whatever the person is saying. But for some reason, I'm held to the higher standard of I must read all of this person's comments, or read the majority of them, or whatever the hell. Like, I've never seen that before. I watched you for 3 years, so I am entitled to you reading my comments every time I write something. Ha 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 ha. I watched TYT for I think 8, 9 years. They've never read my comments or respond to me at all. And I don't care. I'll still watch it. Same thing with Secular Talk. I've watched Kyle for, I think, at least 4 years. And it's never bothered me that he doesn't read my stuff. Like, there's no channel out of all the ones I've watched for some years long period where I'm like on edge or angry because they don't read what I read. Because most people don't get their comment read. Whether it's a stream, whether it's a video, you don't get acknowledgement by the people who make it for the most part. And as long as the stuff is good, I don't really see why the person who makes it has to talk to you. Yeah, that's why I said that I try to not pretend that I've had the worst time on this website of anybody, because that's not true. But I am very serious when I say I've never seen any other person on this site have someone get upset with them for not reading comments. When people get upset, it's because they made a video about them, they were talking trash about them. But you're mad at me because I didn't read what you wrote. And again, you can be mad over whatever you want, but it's the idea that you would get so upset. Because most people, when they get angry or don't like someone's content anymore, they just leave. You're going to come on this person's stream and spam their chat until they say something to you and distract from whatever the hell they're talking about. again, that's something that only happens when people believe they formed some kind of connection with you online. This person thought that because they watched me for years, I was, I guess, what's it, like their slave, like tied up and had to respond to everything they write. At first, I thought that person was trolling at first. Yeah, he acted like a troll. He was a transformer. He was an Autobot last week, and then after I ignored his comments, he became a Decepticon. He morphed on us. Yeah, I'm very upset with Dio because he hasn't been commenting as much recently. You know, this one guy said that a lot of chicks are like Decepticons, where they get you to think they're interested, and then they transform and they're like, "No, I'm not interested. Psych, I got you. Thanks for talking to me for 2 or 3 months while I wasn't interested in you at all, and I just kept you on." Can't believe I ate all this food and even eat to drink this thing. It's in the name. Yeah, they just because it's the deceptive. So it's deceive and con. So they deceive you and they con you out of your time. But then I guess since he watched you for so long, he thought he formed like a personal. Yes, exactly, James. There's another channel I watch. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to, just it doesn't matter. But he and two other people host a stream. They all have different channels with tens of thousands of subs, and they were talking about this guy that would donate to them and would get upset that they wouldn't read his like all of his comments. And they were talking about how he apparently thought that because he donated and watched them, he was like entitled to their acknowledgement. and just think of how crazy this would be if you applied it to the real world. Imagine if I got pissed off and I started making videos and holding protest signs against Jay-Z because he doesn't respond to my, I don't know, post online, even though I buy all of his albums. Like, because I buy his albums, he's supposed to respond to me. Hell, let's say I watched what's her name? Just let's say I watched all of Scarlett Johansson's movies. I bought every single one of them, and then I get mad at her because she won't talk to me after I've watched and purchased all of her films. Like in real life, people don't do this. They're fans of someone and they don't expect them to now grovel at their feet because they support what they put out. It's weird. Jesus Christ. Imagine if James buys all of Robert Downey Jr.'s movies and then he's like outside his house with a picket sign going, "Why won't Robert say anything to me? I've been watching him ever since he became Iron Man. Why won't he say anything?" Think about it. No actual celebrity or not even just celebrity, but person who is involved with making some kind of content or being an entertainer in the slightest in the real world is expected to have this thing of responding to every person that sees their stuff, or have people who think that because they've watched them or liked them for years, they're entitled to interacting with them or having some kind of specific acknowledgement from them. There are a lot of people on this website who have millions of subscribers who you can assume thousands of which have probably watched that person for years. Are they supposed to talk to every single one of those thousands of people? Also, didn't he offend you in some way on Discord? Am I wrong? No, what I was upset over was that there's what's a good way of saying it? A common tendency for people to not write anything on any of my different videos on a variety of topics. And then they come to a stream and they're just typing paragraphs. And I'm like, well, you say you don't have anything to say on all these different topics, but then when you come to a stream, you're running your mouth. But when he was like writing all of his crap, he was saying that he basically without specifically stating it, so I was being hypocritical. And I said, well, if I'm hypocritical, you can go watch somebody else. And I do mean that. If you believe I have offended you in some capacity, I would strongly endorse you watching another person. This website is too damn big to try to, I don't even know what that was, maneuver one person to do things you like. Just go watch somebody else. This isn't just Tube. I'm not the only game in town. Like, there are plenty of people I've stopped watching in the past year. And I don't go back to their channel and go, let me see if I can write this person a bunch of messages on their stream to get them to acknowledge me. Doesn't happen. I know what Dio is saying true too. I guess he's trying to say that everything before whatever I just said was a lie. All right, I don't know what's wrong with the connection. It's getting really annoying. Let's see if it's working. All right, good. Yeah, every time that thing pops across the screen, I get a little nervous. You're gonna watch me squirm like this is some horror movie, except instead of it being somebody with a chainsaw or some gloves or a knife, it's the YouTube connection system saying you're having trouble. It's not stable. We're reconnecting. That's what spooks me. My greatest fear is a loading screen. He might be watching. I mean, well, hell, if he is, what's he gonna? I'm just telling the truth. Like if somebody did a video where they said Justin has been turned down by 80 plus chicks, I'm not going to get offended. It's the truth. Or if they say he did not finish college, like it's true. Let's see. That's when I unfollow people. Yeah, I've never like if I a lot of times when I unfollow people, it's usually because they said something about an issue I didn't like or I thought was ridiculous. Um, but again, I've never sat back and said instead because most people will literally just leave. They'll unsubscribe. They'll go watch somebody else. They might still be subscribed, whatever. This person literally their goal was I'm going to spam this person every day or every other day until they say something to me. And when I show up on their streams, I'm going to redirect the conversation to be about myself. And again, I've never seen it happen to anybody else's stream because usually they just ban the person who tries to do that. Imagine if Dio was streaming about NASCAR and I come on there, Dio, why won't you say anything to me? I've been watching you for 2 years. Acknowledge my existence, please. Like, what is that? And remember, these are grown men doing this. It was a grown man who went on YouTube, what was it, roughly 4 or 5 months ago, and dug through thousands of videos just to hear one with my voice, because he didn't know what I looked like. And there was another grown man who sat in my live chat upset that I wouldn't read his message, even though most people who stream don't read most messages written to them. Dangers of online attachment, so many dangers and red flags, very weird, and so many people just lose their minds behind their keyboards. Yeah. I mean, I just gave a couple of examples of that. No, there is no person on this site that I would ever do that, especially not someone I even spoke to or that came on the streams of. What? Most of the people I unsubscribe from, I usually, like most people I'm subscribed to, have never even spoken to. No, it's just really crazy that someone even formed like when I watched this other person stream about these 3 people that do this show, having this one guy just keep screwing with them. Let me see what this is. Hello? Yeah, I hate those stupid automated phone calls where it's some computer chick's voice that sounds like a younger version of Siri. But I was saying that when I watched this stream where these three guys were talking about this man who would donate, and that caused him to think that he was entitled to talking to them or that they were entitled to speaking to him, it was deja vu because it literally reminded me of what happened a few months back. They have this weird attachment or entitlement just because they have known you or watched you for some amount of time. Yeah. And like I said, real life, like celebrities, which I'm not saying I am, but just any person in real life that puts out a work would never have to have this happen to them or would never be expected for this to happen. Imagine Megumi has watched every movie made by, I don't know, Michael Bay. And then he starts coming on Michael Bay's Facebook every day. Michael, why won't you talk to me? I've watched all of your movies and I've bought all of them all. I've been watching you for 10 years, so we must speak to each other. Like nobody thinks that's weird. But you basically saw a softer version of that happen on here. I've watched you for X amount of years, and so you must speak to me. Jesus Christ. Hey, if I owe him a conversation because he watched me for 3 years, does that mean that since I've watched TYT for 9 years, do they owe me a date? Like I don't understand how this works. That's extremely nuts that you're entitled to someone's time because you saw their video. So I said people on here get so damn crazy for no reason. Oh, it's very creepy, Megumi. And like I said, it's made even worse for me because when I got attached to people on here in the past, it was people I actually spoke to in private, and I guess you could construe this having some kind of like I still don't think just because you talk to someone on the phone a couple of times that makes you friends, but you get my point that it wasn't because I watched somebody's video that I'm like, where did you go? Come back, please. I need you. No, if you take any of what that person did in the real life, it becomes even stranger. That's why I said a lot of times people do weird things online because they know they can get away with it. That's the plot of Perfect Blue. Oh, I've never heard. Is that a movie or a TV show? Oh, all right, it's a movie. I've never heard of it before you said that. An anime. Now you could make a whole anime about all these damn people online that get these attachments. They feel they have plot armor when they are online and think they can do or say whatever they want to others. You used my term. I'm still gonna do the red herring, the romances red herring video. I'm trying to do that this week because I wrote most of the script for it, but I haven't finished it or started editing it. Now, those are some good terms because they tell you how people think they have immunity when they come online, so they can just say and do whatever they want. And that's why I made the decision not to speak to the Discord snake after he did that account digging thing because if the website doesn't punish him for being a creep, which there's no way they could have known that was his purpose to just go and stalk somebody on another site, you can punish that person by not speaking to them anymore. Because remember, this is the same person who made another account just to speak to me. So by not speaking to them, I'm effectively Like this is hurting them. I'm apparently some utility to that person for whatever reason. I spoke to him for 2 years, so I feel like I have a connection with them. I mentioned this before. I had the same best friend from when I was in first grade to ninth grade for 8 years. So, your little 2 year online crap, it doesn't mean much to me. And that was a point I had made to before that, when you actually have had meaningful relationships, be they romantic or platonic in real life, you don't get so hyper focused on this computer stuff. Because I used to go over that person's house. We went to school together for a couple of years. So if I can get over someone like that not being a person I speak to anymore at all, to where I very rarely think about them, I can get over some person on the computer that thinks because they had some a couple of hours long calls with me, they're like we're like Beavis and Butthead or something. Hey, Magumi, the with Triple L, she said, "I've had friends of 15 years who've never spoken to me like this." Like, oh, then go talk to them. I don't care. Hell, or maybe you can talk to them and they can stop you from trying to talk to men who block you in multiple capacities after you try to friend zone them. That's one of the reasons I don't feel anything for these people, because usually when I speak to someone, I specifically tell them what they're doing that gets on my nerves, and then they'll make the decision to just keep doing that thing that gets on my nerves. So it's like you want me to feel bad that we don't speak anymore, but then you also want to like step over, what I want out of this interaction. Like, what kind of conundrum is that? You want me to appease you as you fail to appease me. That makes sense. Oh, let me read James's message in the like the voice. I watched you behind a computer screen for 2 years. Give me all the attention and read my comments. Yeah, but it's like I watch people even longer than that, and I've never tried to like go out of my way to get their attention, because they're just people who put up videos. Hey, we're gonna retitle the stream when Megumi said ridiculous. Imagine that's the title, ridiculous the stream. They can't be realistic. Oh, but they are. Remember, they're making alt accounts just to speak to yours truly. They're getting blocked by me and then saying, I can't take it. Come back. I must interact with you. Well, I wouldn't call see, there's a difference between like I wouldn't call the two of them my fans. The one who came in here and raw all that crap was a fan, because me and him don't have any interactions outside of when I post a video or do a stream. But it's like you're so obsessed with talking to some guy on the computer that you're gonna make another, like, it's still creepy to me after this time, because I've never done that to people. Like, um it doesn't register to me to like keep trying to check in on someone who I've stopped speaking to, especially if I only know them from the internet. There's people on there come and go. Gumi says, yeah, that is absolutely insane. James, imagine if after we stopped speaking by phone, uh, I went and like dug until I found your, like, let's say you never showed me what your channel was. I went and dug until I found your channel. And then after you've like blocked me on there, I make another account going, please, let's speak. How obsessed would I look? I thought it was about a pop singer going through identity issues. Well, I've never seen this film, so I'll have to be informed on what it's about. I'm over here trying to get you to speak to me no matter the cost. I'm making I'm making this other account. I'm pleading in the comment section. Now you know if the situation with Triple L was reversed, where she had blocked me on Twitter and then my phone number as well, and I tried to contact her, I would have been called a stalker in 2 seconds. But when a woman does it, it's okay. When I do that top 10 worst like things I've had happen with chicks video, there's actually a broad in there who, after turning down my romantic advances, I spoke to, but this character tried to, in a span of 24 hours, so from one day to the next, tried to contact me not once, not twice, not 4 times on YouTube, on Skype, and on Google Hangouts. Just because I wouldn't write anything back. She wasn't blocked anywhere. I just didn't say anything for a day, and that was enough for her to like spam on all these different websites trying to contact me. I'm gonna go rewatch the movie. It's been a while later today. She has identity issues, but I think she also has a fan that's obsessed with her in the movie. Hey, if Dio writes any more comments about that damn film, we're gonna call this the Perfect Blue review, the Perfect Blue synopsis stream. Over here talking about this dated film. Yeah, there's something really wrong with people online. I just can't believe someone would be offended that their comment wasn't read. Like that's enough to send you into a rage to where you're over there harassing somebody for a week. Perfect blue in real life. Well, I do always wear blue, so that's where that comes from. And I'm gonna star in the sequel. It's gonna be Perfect Blue too. Yeah, something as trivial and as minor. I've had at least 3 different posts online of people complaining about my cross. It's like this. You gotta understand something like that's weird to me because I got this and I've mentioned this before, as a memento for, or rather from a relative who died when I was in 3rd grade. So in a way, is a memento to that person. And it's like it's just a thing I don't ever think about because I'm just used to having it on, that like to have someone go and say, you can't get a woman because your chain is too small. It's like, who the hell? You really want me to believe some heifer is sitting there going, let me examine your jewelry. What? Yeah. But that's one of the ones on here. But there was a forum that was talking trash about me one time, and one of them said something about it. Like, if you believe in him and his some trash that somebody wrote, but it's just the idea that multiple people would think of focusing on something so inconsequential and minor and insignificant, and, obtuse to what's actually being discussed. What is most bizarre is that Justin only gets these weird analysis comments from other supposed straight guys. Like I said, I'm going to go to my grave knowing that the majority of people who called me ugly have been men who are supposed to be straight. You would think from the number of them, I went to a gay bar or something. At least there it would make sense. But these are straight men talking about the way another man looks. Yeah, it was 8 posts it was a forum that I've never heard of before or since. They had 8 pages talking trash about me. And again, they do the same thing as all the rest of the romance analysis people. They accuse you of things, they cry about the way you look, all that trash. Sinister, what is that? Queever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Sinister says, from my experience, I've been called ugly by other heterosexual men. I would put heterosexual in quotation marks because I like I'm very serious when like took it upon myself to analyze the physical looks of the because again there are a lot of chicks that I don't think are pretty or hot and they still are able to get with somebody. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Objectively speaking, it is. So me sitting here and like trying to pretend that this person is so hideous is just counterintuitive. He put it in quotation. They're bi curious. Nah, no quotations. They're suspicious. Like I said, I never thought I'd see the day when the majority of time when someone's talking about the way I look, it's another man. You would think I posed for like I was the only male model in like something like Playboy where it's like marketed toward men. You're like, what's he doing in there? They're the kind of people who, let's say, if they actually like, let's say that actually happens, right? And there's a magazine of naked chicks, and there's one naked man in there. They're the kind of people who, instead of being normal and just cutting the page out or looking away from it, they will open the page up and have all of them like going and analyzing and reviewing the way the man looks. That's how fruity they are. I don't like how long his private parts are. You know, I mentioned this before. The most ironic part of the so if you listen to some feminists and like different people that like to protect chicks, they'll say that men only care about appearance and the I guess sexiness of the woman or whatever, some crap. But what I think is really amusing is that most of the time when I talk about broads, I don't actually speak about the way they look because I don't show their pictures and I'm discussing stupid things that they do. Uh, and then when I do a video, I have men talking about the way I look as if I'm a chick. So it's like this weird gender inversion where the man who's talking about women is talking about the way they act or their personalities or whatever. And then the men who are talking about the man are obsessed with his appearance, even though they're supposed to be straight and not attracted to him anyway. Hey Megumi, I've never seen any of the chicks you've approached, but I know that most, if not all of them, are out of your league. Even though I'm not supposed to find another man attractive, or at least not as attractive as chicks by virtue of being straight, I'm gonna accuse you of approaching all of these supermodels. Even though, again, I've never seen what any of them look like. Sinister says, what's so funny is that these kind of people act like their analysis of you means they got you all figured out when they know jack about you. Yeah, you would think from me putting up a 12-minute video that, you know, it was like some kind of they analyzed me like they're watching a documentary on me from how knowledgeable they tried to sound that video. I've now analyzed you and I know what you own and I know your personality, even though we've never spoken. Imagine if a woman did a video where she was complaining about not getting with men or like having trouble with men, and I go on the video and I say, I find you to be unattractive and I know you are unconfident and you probably own nothing. I guarantee you if I wrote that, everybody would be pissed off. They would say, what's wrong with you? Why are you putting this lady down? She's already had a hard time with these different men she's tried to be faithful. I guarantee you, if the genders were reversed and this was happening to chicks, you would get nothing but a pity party. But when it happens to a man, you get verbally lynched. You get hung on the cross like you're the new Jesus. And that's why I wear this cross, because we have to have symbolism of how crucified I've been online, my verbal crucifixion on the computer. Follow me around everywhere. I've got all your information. Because people think they can pity a woman. That they can pity only women. Yeah, there's a really weird tendency for, if you have a vagina and you're online, you just kind of don't get critiqued over anything. And you saw what happened with Triple L, where she was trying to defend the dingbat with the baby, just because she never had met this woman. She made up a bunch of crap to try and make her look like she was the victim. But again, this wasn't someone who got raped or didn't know what a condom was. This is a person who willfully let an unprotected banana go inside her taco and, was paying the consequence for it, or paying the price for it, or would be paying the price if it weren't for all these people who are so damn, sympathetic. White Knights Assembly, yeah. The White Knights for the chicks, and what's the plague called? The Black Plague. I was trying to have some kind of like yin yang thing where it's the White Knights for the chicks and the Black Damnation for the man, or something, like some evil dark words are said about you. Some tenebrous tales are made. You think if a woman put up a video saying she was sad she couldn't get with the man, somebody would accuse her of trying to blow up a building? Like, people really don't get why that is so weird. You do a video articulating your problem with a group of people and the things that you want out of this group of people. And then, like, they have this weird thing where they just associate you with violence because other men who had the same problem did violent stuff, even though there are men who have been married that have been serial killers and, commit all their kinds of crimes, but whatever. That video is coming, romance and serial killers. So that nobody can try to say that because of your personality you can't get with a woman, because these people have worse ones by virtue of killing a bunch of people are able to get with somebody. I don't buy it. Now, I really wish I could find that comment that one guy wrote where he was like, women are able to tell who has this kind of whatever, because I would just love to screenshot that and just have it at the start of the video and then show all the different, evil men that chicks have gotten with. Social media makes women narcissistic. As an African proverb once said, it's easy to say the villagers are not starving when you are the cause of their starvation. Another proverb I like to use is the juice is not worth the squeeze. You should have to talk to some broad for 8 or 9 months, or talk to, 6 or 7 basketball teams worth of chicks to get to go on one date. And that's why, like I said, it's a feminist society, because nobody would expect this of a woman. No one would tell a woman that she needs to go and talk to dozens of guys to go on one date. But again, when you have a penis, you get the crucifixion. They put those nails in your fingers, hang you up on that cross, get to talking trash, and completely deflect from the main issue at hand. I guarantee you won't see one person, and I haven't seen one person outside of like this group on here. Because again, I made the point that if I did what Triple L did of getting blocked in two different ways and then coming over to her page, I would be considered you know, creepy. But because a woman did it, no one's going to criticize it. Hold on. That was too loud. And then, what you think about the WNBA finally get to be in an NBA? Well, I mean, if somebody wants to play as them, why not? Yeah, you know how it is, James. People ask all kind of stuff. That what I'm talking about, feminist society and Twilight Zone in a nutshell. Well, again, it's just really ridiculous double standards. Like we're not even talking 60-40 where, you know, people are more likely to think chicks are innocent, but they'll still give a man credit if he, you know, does certain. We're talking it's like 95% in favor of the broad, and then if you're a guy, you're just, you know, you're supposed to like when I do the romances just fallacy video, I was going to talk about how the stuff with men and chicks is so screwed up because people want you, they want to control the outcome, right? They want you to accept getting turned down by all these broads, but they also want to control your response to it. So when you say, hey, this pisses me off, oh, that's code for you're going to do something violent, even if you don't support violence and they have no proof that you've ever done anything violent. They want you to shut up. They want you to not be able to discuss your problems with these people. They want to not listen to you while being listened to, so they can tell you what they think you should do while ignoring what you have done. Sinister says, I don't even try at all with dating nowadays. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, it seems like you're just screwed one way or the other. Like if you don't talk to a chick, you get accused of being gay. You get accused of not having confidence. You get accused of doing something to them when you spoke to them. And if you do talk to them, you get accused of doing something to screw it up. You know, like you're blamed as the reason why it didn't work out. You get accused of going too fast. You know, just they find a way to always make it against you. Like I said this before, the chick stuff is so screwed up that you could talk to a woman and turn her down and you would get blamed for it, rightfully so, because you're the one who turned her down. But then you could talk to a woman, approach her, she could turn you down, and then you would still get blamed for it. So you as the man would get blamed for turning the woman down just as you would for her turning you down. Because again, it's about if you have a penis, you know, you're responsible for this. Oh, go black pill. Don't say that, please, because I already know some people who have been willing to do that. Well, it's been said many times, best to not participate in it anyways. Megumi, if you approach a woman and she says no, it's because of you. And then if you talk to a woman and she asks you out and you say no, it's also because of you. How does that work? It's a narcissistic game of doublethink. Well, I just think people over there. It's like a combination of them wanting to blame the man at all cost, and then also not wanting to. Because again, I said this before. All these character analysis on me are never going to address why this happens to so many men. But they don't want to address that the fact that this is happening to a bunch of different men who have different appearances, different personalities, different things they're into, because then that would cause them to have to accept this is the fault of chicks at large because it's happening to so many damn people. And you know, they don't want to do that. Uh, I don't know who that question is addressed to, but I've said repeatedly that If sex was what I wanted, I could just go to the state right next to mine of Nevada, drive to Las Vegas, and have it done. So that little doll or bot won't help me. You know, look. Oh, you didn't have to delete him. He was. I mean, I didn't really. I am kind of tired of people always thinking that if you just screw someone who has trouble with this issue, it makes all the pain go away. But I didn't think he was asking it to be offensive or to, try to do something negative. Go ahead and buy already. Yeah, that's my thing. I don't bemoan anyone who still wants to talk to chicks or, you know, get any of that romance stuff. Because even if it's useless to me, somebody else might, like it. They want to blame men for their problems while simultaneously deflecting responsibility for the actions that led to their problems. Remember, narcissists do not self reflect. Well, that's why it was hard for me to think after reflecting that it was my fault because I really said, would I feel as if I were to blame if I was a chick and men said no? And people, would they tell me that I was to blame if I was the reverse gender? Um, and again, it's just to simply say that if you are willing to compromise with this person, you spend weeks or months trying to appeal to them, and they say no. I don't see how you're not the one who made the effort. And if you're the one who's willing to go on a date while they're not, I don't see how that's your fault. The point is when it happens over and over again with chicks, you get discouraged because it's literally this repetitive cycle of them doing the same crap repeatedly. Yeah, it's sad too. Some people actually did miss the point of that video. I told you that my favorite part is when they try to accuse men of just wanting to get screwed, and they're like, "Yes, I spoke to this woman for months or weeks just to get her in bed. It's not like I can just go to another state in the span of less than a week and get this over with." I had one broad from what country? I'm not going to say what country it was, but it was some other country, and I said, do you really believe I've spoken to you for months so I can fly out to some country that probably costs an arm and a leg to go to, uh, and screw you? And then she admitted that she didn't believe that because of how long it was. Like it's still stupid. Now people place a really high premium on getting banged, and it's not really something that is that hard. Like it's not a hard thing to obtain, so it's not really that big of a deal. And again, people have to like make these assumptions about what you want because it makes them feel better about you not getting with anyone. Oh, he doesn't respect and want a partner. He just wants to get screwed, even though he can just go to the state right next to his and get it over with. Yeah, it is pretty sad, sinister. See, but I found that the less people I interact with, the less problems I have in my life, and I would keep it that way. Yeah, it seems like all they do is just bring more issues. The more that you get people involved with whatever you're doing, like the larger tally of individuals you speak to, the higher the chances you're gonna have a problem or trouble or an issue. Oh, where's James when I need him? I think he went to go eat or do something else. Somebody wrote something really goofy. They wrote something that really should get yanked. I'm waiting to see if he wants to do it. Thank you. There we go about the assumptuous crap. Where at any point have I ever said I'm afraid to talk to a bimbo that lives in California? See what I mean about they just assume things and have no proof? You can get rid of them if you want to. Like I'm just people. They love accusing you because I remember he was talking trash about you. What was it last week? The week before last. So if you feel like that person is just a constant problem, you have my permission to pull out your Infinity Gauntlet and do that. Literally no proof, just strong emotions from a deep sense of superiority. I mean, again, like their way of feeling better is to accuse you of things. Oh, you're feeling generous today, huh? Yeah, I usually give you one chance, then you act crazy. That's it. Again, nobody has the time for that ridiculousness. Like, if you're going to be on someone's stream and not actually respond to what they're saying, I don't see the point of you being here. Imagine if Sinister was streaming about, I don't know, sports, and I come in there talking about Gears of War. Like, it's just, it's not necessary. He's really trying to make himself sound like he's Edward Snowden. I speak the truth. He's the new Julian Assange. You've said nothing thus far that can be rationally substantiated. You're blowing steam out of your. Yeah, pretty much. He really trying to make himself sound like he's some kind of martyr. They're gonna ban me for saying the truth. Hey, what is the truth without proof? Did you see the horrible game journalists that didn't want to do their job? No, I did not. Was this recent? I did see that you were getting sued by whatever company that is for taking one of their characters and using them as your avatar. They said now with everything going on in the world is not the time to review the PS5. Well, why are you writing an article reviewing the PS5 then? I mean, that's just somebody else trying to take real life issues and stick them in stuff they're not supposed to be involved with. Yeah, it's just them being dumb. I think we're pretty much done here. We don't. I think I've said everything I need to say. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So I thank Sinister. I thank James, Dio, Megumi for showing up. I will try to get to the Krillin fights video this week. Email, and we'll see what happens. So thanks for showing up. Have a good day. I feel like people nowadays do stupid things not because they're ignorant, but because it feels good. Yeah, and there's no consequence. If you know you can have a kid you can't afford, and no one's gonna, like punish you or tell you that what you did was wrong, like, after the first couple of months or weeks, you'll just do it. Same thing with the chick stuff. If you can turn down a bunch of men who you say appeal to you but not enough, and then no one is gonna say that you're leading them on and that's ridiculous, you just keep on doing it. If you can go and look up a man's account after only knowing his voice and not have people tell you that that's creepy, that you're stalking him, you'll do it.